Hello, my name is Maria, and it's time for coffee, a cake, and a chat about books, or a chat about my reading week in books. So let's begin, I suppose. The last time I did any type form of reading wrap would have been the last vlog for Booktubeathon, and in that I had just finished only 2 of the books for Booktubeathon, and I was still in the progress of reading this one. The lovely Tim Cottrell, The Next Steps in the Dance. As you can see from my bookmark, I still have about a quarter of it to go. I'm really enjoying this. It's a lovely piece of literary fiction. It's about a couple who live in Tiger Island, and from the very opening scenes you can see that they are not getting on. They're newlyweds. They're not getting on. He loves dancing. She wants to get on in life. And the story takes quite a few unexpected turns. For a while I thought it was just going to be a nice piece of quiet literary fiction where nothing much happens, but something major happens in the middle of the story. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm so glad I accidentally bought this one from Kenny's Bookshop. I'm just moving this because I realised the light is coming from my left hand side. The only book I have finished is a book I finished in audio. I'm actually not going to pick up the iPad. I'm just going to insert the book here. Did I insert it? Okay, I hope I did. I don't know how you put the books like that, so if somebody knows how that's done, could they tell me? Captain Curly's Mandolin by Louis de Bernier. I have mispronounced his last name. I am so sorry. He shouldn't have a name that sounds like it's in French, because I can't do French at all. I loved this book. It has 2 themes in it that I put on my Goodreads. It's the only themes I don't read, and yet I still managed to give this book 4 stars. And the 2 themes I don't normally read are war stories where we have active fighting. I don't particularly like that. And romance, pure romance novels. I don't mind romance within a novel, but I don't like pure romance novels. And despite these, and despite actually getting a little bit bored during some of the war scenes, even though it's written from the perspective of that the generals and the people in charge are making a complete mess up of this, and nobody particularly, no soldier particularly wants to kill each other. It's written from, and at one stage, an Greek and an Italian soldiers' perspectives, and neither one of them want to be part of this action, be part of killing things. Despite that, I still got a little bit bored. I always will get a little bit bored. I just don't like the idea of people just killing each other. I do the same thing. Lord of the Rings, one of my famous books. I zone out a couple of the battle scenes and that too. But Captain Curly Mandolin managed to have this complete story, this complete history of an island of Greece in Kefalonia, which I hope I pronounced correctly, and it's a story. It's just a story of people, and it has themes of love, and it's love and music. There's love, heterosexual love, homosexual love. And so if somebody doesn't like romance, I particularly like the themes of love. And overall, it wasn't what I was expecting. When it came out in 1994, I did see a lot of people reading it. Then I saw a lot of people reading when the movie came out. I did see the movie, don't remember much of it. I did see it. But I really enjoyed it. So here, I put insert the clip of the original cover from the thing as well. The only other book I'm halfway through, which was on my TBR, and for Booktubeathon, and I did say I'd be reading them over the 4 weeks, is Stephen King's The Dead Zone. I'm halfway through this. I forgot all about this book. until I got about 100 pages in, I knew I'd read it, but I couldn't remember the story. Now I'm remembering, but I still don't know what's happening next. So it's kind of the best of all deals. I'm about halfway through. I think I'm going to pick this one up before I pick up this one again. As some people know already, but you might not know if you're new, I'm reading Stephen King from the beginning in the publication order. One or two skips and cheats, but you know, I always cheat. The Dead Zone I particularly liked. I like at the moment because I'm near the beginning of his catalogue, and we're in the 1970s. So it really is a slice of history of what it was like in America in the 1970s during the oil crisis. But this book, because the main character is in a coma for 4.5 years, in the movie I think it's 6, but he's in a coma for half a decade. So Stephen has to talk about the decade and what happened. So this character goes, oh my God, all these things happened, Watergate, blah, 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 oil crisis. So it's a real kind of slice of history. But the other way it's a slice of history is that just the attitudes of Stephen, because I've just read The Outsider last month, maybe the month before, and the way he portrays his female characters has changed over time. Remember, this is written in the 1970s, and it's a good deal later by the time 2018 comes along and he writes The Outsider. So he has far more kick-ass characters in the current novels, whereas these ones would be more traditionally female roles where people get married and they have children quite young, which would have been his life with Tabitha. So it's just always interesting to go back from the beginning and read this. Not a very scary book. If people are looking for Stephen King that it's not scary, they call this the chilling classic chilling one. I don't know if you can see that on this. It's chilling classic, not classic chilling. Not an awful lot has happened so far. If it is scary, I'll tell you, because I do know some people want to read the books, but they don't particularly like horror. This is just more about somebody who wakes up from a coma and he's psychic, and you know, 300 pages in, not an awful lot of action has actually happened. It's more about the characters so far. Now, of the books I have to read, I'm going to hold them up. There's quite a few, isn't there? I should do it this way, don't I? You're supposed to put yourself in. Alright. I'm not editing this. This is casual. I have to read this soon because I'm going to be doing Thrillerathon. And so all of these books are supposed to be read over the next 2 weeks. But I'm going to be doing Thrillerathon. This is actually borrowed from a colleague in work, and I need to get this back to him, so I only have next week to read. So next week I should be reading Acceptance, then I should be watching the Annihilation. I don't know, is that a film? I think it's a film on Netflix, because I was afraid to watch Annihilation. Either I've read Annihilation. Annihilation, incidentally, is the first one, so there's the books, Annihilation and Authority, and this is Acceptance. So it's the third book in the trilogy. Jeff Vandermeer, must remember to mention the authors. And say, I'm going to put a thing myself and me as the Buddha going, because I say a lot. I will be watching Annihilation as soon as I finish this, because I want to find out what happens. So I have to prioritize this next week, and I have to prioritize, well, it would help if you didn't put it upside down, this next week. So I'm also reading one book a month for the Elizabeth Taylor Reading Project on Goodreads. I'll link the group down below. So this is at Mrs. Lippincott's. I've never read Elizabeth Taylor before, but I'm pretty sure I like her, but we'll find out. But I need to read that because that won't fill into the criteria Thrillerathon. So Thrillerathon I will be posting up a TBR for that, probably in the middle of this week, as in if you consider Sunday the beginning of the week, if you don't, next week. I will be, so I will be doing so that none of these books will be included. If for some chance I suddenly read really, really quickly, I should be reading these guys, or one of these for these guys. So if you see one that I really should be reading before the others, please do tell me. But otherwise, I should be spending the next week, a whole pint of coffee and a ketchup is straight in the coffee. It's perfect. And my cake today is a luxury muffin from Tesco's, and I believe it's blueberry and ginger. If I got that wrong, somebody again tells me, because anybody from the UK or from Ireland, which I'm from, will know most of Tesco's products. Excuse me, I might eat and talk in my mouth full. So this week I'm going to be spending a lot of time with my niece, bringing her back and forth to Splash Camp. I have one very important thing to do on Monday evening, but other than that I should be catching up my reading. So whatever you're reading, I hope you're enjoying it, and if you would like to comment down below, please do. If there's something that I should be prioritizing, or if I'm prioritizing the wrong book, please do tell me. And other than that, have a nice weekend and see you soon. Bye.